Control statements in Java programming. Mostly, control statements determines whether the statement will be executed or not. Also, it controls the flow of execution of our program. There are three categories of control statements in Java programming. One is decision making statement, and another one looping statement, and the third one branching statement. Decision making statement means the programmer will give certain condition. Based on the condition, the decisions will be takes place whether to execute the given statement or not. In looping statement, a set of statement will be repeatedly executed a number of time, or based on the given condition, the loop will be executed. In branching statement, if we want to transfer the control from one statement to another statement, we will go with branching statement. Let me see one by one. First, we can go with decision making statement. Decision making statement, these are all the statement we can use in our programming. Simple if statement, if else statement, else if later, and nested if statement, then switch statement. These are the set of statements the Java program will support for decision making. The first one, simple if statement. So this is the keyword if. Here is a small I. If the test condition we have to give here, if this condition is true, this given statement will get executed. Otherwise, just it will exit from the if, it will execute the next given statement. This is simple if statement. This is a simple example I have given here. Int x is equal to 10. If n less than 20, we are checking. This is our condition. So condition will be created by using relational operator. Or we can use expression also here. So if x less than 20. So in our case, the value of x is 10. So the result will be of false. So it will, the result will be of true. It is less than 10. So it will print this is if statement. So here, if suppose it is more than 20 means it will not print this statement and it will come out from the if statement. The next one is if else statement. See, in the previous example, we didn't define if the condition is false, what has to do. But here, for that, we are using else statement. Else statement, if the condition is false, what has to do, that we can define in the else part of the statement here. So if condition is true, it will execute the statement block 1. Otherwise, it will execute the statement block 2. This is the example again. If x is 10, we have initialized. Now we are checking if x less than 20. So in our case, x is 30, the condition will become false. So here, if it is false, what has to do? It will print this is else statement. So this is if else statement. The next one is, see in here, we are checking only one condition here. Suppose we have to check 2, 3 conditions. So we need to give the statement, else statement again and again with if condition. So that is else if later. If condition, it will check the condition first. If the condition is true, it will execute the given statement here and it will come out of the if statement. Otherwise, again it will go and check the second condition. If the condition is true, it will execute this. Or otherwise, if we have given the another condition, it will go and check the condition. Otherwise, it will execute the else part of the conditions. Here we can give the default statement, then it will come out from the loop. So if we need to execute multiple conditions, then we can go with else if statement here. Let's see, x is 30. We can check first if x is equal to 10. Then if x is equal to 10, this is false. Then once again it will come here and it will check the condition. If x is 20, again this is false. Again it will come here. If x is 30, then it will print the value of x is 30. Otherwise, suppose in our case we have given if 35 we have given. So it will execute the else part here. So this is else if later. So most of the decision making statement, we need to have a decision about, suppose electricity bill, student grade calculations. There we will go with multiple conditions. So such cases we can use else if later statement. Next, nested if statement. If we have one if statement, if the condition is true, so again we have to go with one condition and one else part. So such cases is nested if statement. If the condition is true, then it will go and execute another condition. If both the condition is true, it will execute this block of statement. Otherwise, it will execute this. If this condition is false, it will come here. Again, we can use here if and else, the complete block of if statement we can give here. This is nested if statement. Now we can practice some example using if else statement. So this is our IDE, Eclipse IDE. Here we have created a workspace control statement. So just this is a Java project I have created. Here we are going to create a class file. So just right click on the project. Here select new. Here you can take class. So just we can practice one example for every class. So just we can give this is if statement. So first, so the if statement. So our class will get created here. Yes, this is our package control statement. This is our class file. See, one thing we should remember, the name of the class and the class file name should be same. So in our case, we have created this. Just let me increase the font size. Yes. Now we have to define our main method, public static void main. Our input is of string. Now let me take one variable a is equal to 10. Just we can practice if statement. Just we can check whether if a is odd number or even number. To check odd number or even number, we can divide the number by 2 and check the remainder. Remainder is equal, the number will be even number. So just we can give system.out.println is even number. So here we didn't define the another part if the condition is false. So just we can save the file. Just we can run the program. It will give the output. 10 is an even number. So here we are not defining what else. If the condition is true, we have defined here. Otherwise, what should? So that is why we are using else part of the statement. So just we can give here else. Else. Just we can use. So A is an odd number. So just I'm changing the value of A by 11 and run the program. So see, 11 is an odd number. So this is if else. So if the condition is true, it will execute this statement. Otherwise, we have to define in the else part. Now we can practice one more example for else if later. So for else if later, just we can use one example, double average. So just we can calculate average, calculate grade using average. So if average greater than 90, if it is greater than 90, system dot out. Here we can just print outstanding. And print outstanding. So one condition we have checked here. If average grade may be outstanding, it may be distinction, it may be first class, second class, or reappear. So we have multiple options here. So we have to check more than one condition. So that is why we are using if else leader. Again, we can check average greater than 75. Greater than equal to. If it is equal also, so just we can give, if it is greater than, then we can give distinction. Distinction we can give. Otherwise, again, we have another condition. First class, if greater than equal 60, then we can print this first class. First class. And so then again we can give another condition. It's for second class. So else if average greater than or equal 50. If it is greater than 50, then we can print its second class. Second class. Yes, we have given. Now, if our condition is not belongs to any of these category, is a default value. We have to print here. So if else, we can print reappear. Just so these are the categories we can define using else if later. So first it will take our value and check the first condition. If it is not true, it will come here, it will check this condition. Yes, it is greater than 75. So just it will print a distinction, then it will come out from this if statement. So at any time, it will execute only one statement given here. It will not go and execute more than one statement. So just we can see this, save the file and you run. See, this is a distinction. So here I am giving here 68. I changed the average value. Just let me see the output. So just it is giving first class. Now I am changing the value to 16.9. Let me see what is the output. See, the output is reappear. So this is the example for else if statement. Next we can go nested if statement. So nested if statement, we can define one if else statement inside another if statement. So just I am doing the same. I'll take do the same program here. So just we can compare, find the biggest among three numbers. So just we can go with that program. Yes. Take three values. Int A is equal to some value, B is equal to some value, and C is equal to some value. So three variables we can taken here. We have taken here. And now we can check which one is the biggest value. So in our case, B is the biggest value. So just first we can check if A greater than B. If A greater, we take the value of A first. So we compare A with here. Now again we have to compare A with C. So in this if statement, again we use another if statement. If A greater than C. If it is greater than C, obviously A is biggest. So system.out.println, we can give A is biggest. We can give here. Yes, this is over. Now, else. If not, if A is here, if we are checking A greater than B and A greater than C, if both is true, then it will be A is biggest. Otherwise, in our case, C will be biggest. So system.out.println is biggest. Okay. Yes, see here, this if statement, inside this if statement, we have defined another if else statement. This is nested if statement. Now, so coming to the next part of our program, if this condition is false, so else, again we can go with another if statement. If B greater than A. So A greater than B is false. So B is greater than A. Now B greater than C. If we can check if B is greater than C. So just if the condition is true, we can give system out.println. So in our case, if C is B is biggest, otherwise else, otherwise C will be biggest. Yes. So this is a else. See, in this else part also we have defined another if else, entire if else. So just to save the file, let me see what is the output. So 56 is biggest here. So in this case, so I'm changing this. A is now 134. So let me see what's the output. 134 is biggest. So just here we can change the value of C. So just execute our program. Let me see, this is biggest. So this is a very good example for nested if statement. So inside one if statement, we have defined the entire if statement. Hope you all understand about the decision making statement, that is if statement, if else statement, else if later, and nested if statement. And the next one in the decision making statement is switch statement. Say switch statement, we have set of options, and in that options we can select which option has to execute. So switch, this is the syntax for switch statement. Switch expression. So expression are options we can give, and case label, and inside the label the statements will be. So label here, it may be integer or character. Label can be integer or character. Then we can define the set of statements. Then break statement. Break is must here. It will break the statement and it will come out from the switch statement. If you missed to give break statement here, what will happen? The next label will execute. So that is why break is very, very important here. And another one, default we can give here. If our expression is not matched with any label which we have defined here, it will execute the statement given under default. This is the syntax for switch statement. Let me have one example for switch statement. Mhm. So just we can define the next new program here. Go to new and class. Switch statement, this is the name of the class. So our class has been defined here. Now we can define our main method string. Yes, switch statement. Just we can take a single digit number and we can print its corresponding words. So just A is equal to, I have taken 4. Now we have defined switch. Switch A is if it is 1. So just we can take less than 5. So that also we can check here. If A less than or equal 5. If it is true, it will do all other process. Otherwise, otherwise we can give system.out.println given number is greater than 5. Yes, we can do this. So we can check with the number 1 to 5. So case 1. If it is 1, then we can give system.out.println dot out.println. We can print 1, and carefully we can give break here. Yes. Next, just we can copy and paste for case 2. This is for case 2. For case 2, then we can print this is 2. Yes. Next, case 3. Case 3. This. Next, case 4. If it is 4, we can print 4. Then case 5. See, here we have defined if else statement here. So in switch case statement, we have a statement called default. So if your number is not belongs to 1 to 5, it will execute the default statement. So we can define here default system.out.println invalid or number greater than 5. So it simplifies our, so just we can remove all this if else. So it is very equivalent to the else part in the else if later. That is why I defined here with if and here. Hope you understood about the importance of default statement in the switch case statement. So just we can save the file, just we can run. Let me see what is our output. Somewhere we have proceed with the launch. Something we missed. Let me check. Yes. Yes. So the number is 4. So just we can give number 6. Our default statement will get executed. So just it simplifies, the default is simplifies our if else statement what I have written earlier. So just I'm removing break here. You see what will happen. Let me check the value input a. I am defining 1, so it will match with case 1. So just we can see what is the output you are getting. See both output, it will print 1 as well as 2. Since we have break here, so it exit from the switch statement. So that is why I said you have to give break in every case, otherwise it will execute the next break statement. Hope you all understand the decision making statement. The next one is looping statement. So the looping statement we have the looping statement in Java. So looping statement, the 3 types of looping statement. We have for loop, while loop, and do while loop here. So for loop is this is the syntax. For is the keyword. Here initialization, test condition, that is how long your statement has to execute. The test condition, increment or decrement, which is based on the initialization. If the initialized value is the biggest value to least value you want, means you have to give decrement part, or from least value to highest value you are moving, means you have to give increment here. Then based on the condition, so the execution, the first step, it will initialize, then it will go and check the condition. If the condition is true, it will come and execute the given statement. Then once it execute, it will go and increment or decrement. Again, it will go and test the conditions. It will come here. Like this, the loop will get executed. Just I will give an example use for loop in Java programming. So just we can start another class file or looping statement. So just looping statement. So just string. Yes. So just here we can print the numbers from 1 to 10. So just for int I is equal to 1. Since we have to print the numbers from 1 to 10, so the initialization I have taken 1, and the condition I less than or equal 10, then I plus plus. So just it will print the numbers from 1 to 10. I. Yes, that's all. So just it will print I. This is a just yes, it will print the numbers from 1 to somewhere we missed I. Yes. So just run the program. Yes. Control statement, loop statement, public static void main, string a1. So just run the program, detach all, remove all this. So it will print the numbers from 1 to 10. It has been printed here. Yes. Okay. See, suppose I want to print only the odd numbers from 1 to 100. So just I can increment plus equal to 2. So increment is not only by 2. Anyway, you can increase the numbers. So just you could see switch the statement. We got only, see, 1, 3, 5. Only we got odd numbers. So the increment you can change in any ways. So this is the example for loop. So certain conditions we have in for loop we can use. For loop we can use in different ways. So there is inside this initialization, you can give multiple initialization. Similarly, multiple conditions and multiple increment, decrement we can give, which is separated by comma. So comma is a special operator in Java, which will separate the statements inside the for loop. And similarly, you can omit the initialization and increment, decrement, just only conditions we can give here. Just so this is the way also we can define for loop. So and increment, decrement, to increment, decrement, like that we can use the for loop. And the next one we can go with while statement. While is also looping statement, and it is very similar to for, but the thing is initialization we have to give before while, and the conditions we will give here, then increment decrement we will define inside the while statement. So all these three part will be given in different places. The remaining execution part, everything is similar to our for statement. So just we can have a simple example for while statement. Just I'm removing this and I'm taking one number, just some 345. Just we can count how many digits are there. So just I am taking another variable c to count. So just while a greater than 0. Now n is equal to a slash 10 and c is equal to c plus 1 and a is equal to 10. So just we are splitting the numbers and we can count how many digits are. So this process will go till a greater than 0. If a is once it becomes 0 or less than 0, it will come out from the loop statement. So once we complete this, see here, initialization we have done here. A is equal to 345. This is initialization. And the condition is if till a greater than 0, it has to execute. And the decrement process, we are decreasing a by slash 10. We are dividing a every time by 10. So just, and then we can print system dot out dot println. In C, we have digits. C, digits. So just to save the file and we can execute this. So just attach all. So 3 digits. It has given 3 digits. So this is while loop. So in the for statement, all the statement we have defined in a single line. But while statement, the initialization will be in some place, condition checking and or increment or decrement will be in another places. So, and here this is not like a for statement. In for statement we can define any number of initialization, any number of increment decrement, but usually while we will go for some complex calculations like that, but for usually we will use for array accessing, some sequential accessing or sequential increment decrement, such cases we will prefer for statement, but even while statement also we can use that. Then the next one is do while statement. Do while statement is very similar to our for statement, sorry, while statement, but the only thing is without check the condition, one time the do while statement will get executed. So in some applications we need to execute some statements without checking the conditions at least one time. Such cases we will use do while statement like this. And another one, the for statement we can use without any conditions. We can access the array elements. We can use for statement. So just I will give one example how to use for statement. So just let me use one array. Array. This is array declaration. So just I am declaring array. Initializing array here. This is array initialization. Now for int I in A. So I variable in A. So just it will define, see, it will access the elements one by one. I am giving here I. So, see, For accessing array elements, we can use for like this. For I, actually in Python, we will use the keyword in. So here we are not using the keyword search, just we can define like this. And so it will access the array elements one by one. So this time, see, the array elements will be printed one by one. So we can use for like this also for accessing array for each. For in Python, we have for each also there that we can use like this. But here, just without any conditions, without any increment, decrement, we can use for loop for accessing array elements like this. So this is about for loop in Java programming. And the next set of loop is the branching loop. Branching statement. Branching statement will helps to transfer the control from one statement to another statement. Therefore, that we are using break statement, continue statement, and return statement. Break statement already we discussed within switch statement. To break the flow, to come out from the switch statement, we are using break. Continue statement. Similarly, if you want to continue the execution inside the looping statement, so just we can use continue statement. Return statement usually we will use inside the function for returning value to the calling function. We will use return statement. So these are all the control statements we are using in Java programming. So hope you are all understand various control statements in Java programming. Thank you. Thanks.